Hello guys, this is Amol Khedkar. I welcome you to this video. This will be a video about what United Kingdom will look like by 2030. This is another video in my ongoing series about the world in 2030 that I am doing on my YouTube channel. So please don't forget to check out the entire series. I analyze each and every country which are part of the G20 nations. Okay, this is an article from The Guardian which says UK in 2030 older, more unequal, and blighted by Brexit, report predicts. Before we get started, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as I upload this kind of eye-opening geopolitical and world economy news on a daily basis. You really don't want to miss out on any of this. You can check all my videos and then make a decision of whether to subscribe or not. But you can check my content, you can find a quality in my content, and then you can subscribe. Okay, I don't mind that. But please don't forget to subscribe. So let's get started. So IPPR says leaving EU will require painful trade-offs, adding to challenges of aging population and automation of jobs. Okay, so UK has been on a downward trend since a long time now. Not the first time. Okay, so Brexit was just like another nail in the coffin of ending the UK supremacy over the entire world. Okay, the sun never used to set on the British Empire. That's what they say. And I'm originally from India, so definitely Britain ruled my country for a long time. Okay, for almost 150 years. So the sun definitely never sat on the British Empire. But right now, the entire the Britain as a country is about to set. Okay, so forget about the empire. Even the future of Britain is in jeopardy at this point. Okay, Britain faces a decade of disruption after Brexit, with low growth, stagnating incomes for the poor, and the public finances at breaking point, according to a bleak analysis by a leading think tank. Okay, so a leading think tank is saying that Britain will have low growth, stagnating incomes for the poor, and the public finances at breaking point. Okay, no wonder that's the case, because the kind of disruption that has happened in UK, and the kind of class based society that UK has always been, right? I still don't understand why UK has a queen. Okay, if you call yourself a democratic country, if you call yourself like you are like you have a parliament, and UK is like the birthplace of democracy, why the hell do you even have a queen at this point? Okay, I present my views in a very straightforward way on this channel, and that is really one of the reasons why I have started this channel, because I want to get my views across without any obstructions and without any holds barred. Okay, so I don't think that UK should even tell the rest of the world that you should go with democracy when they themselves are just such an undemocratic society. And UK is a very class based society. Okay, let me be very honest with you. In UK there are hierarchy of classes. There is like a nobleman class, or there is like other class. Just look at Downton Abbey, right? Look at that serial down look at that that series Downton Abbey, and you will understand what I mean by this. Okay, UK is a very class based society, and that's why the queen is like ahead of the thing. And then tell me one country in the entire world that has the face of a living person on their currency. Okay, I will give you time. Then respond to me. Not even a single country in the entire world has the face of a living person on their currency. Okay, only UK has that. Like the face of the Queen Oz is on the UK pound, and UK has been like such an arrogant country for long time, and they have cheated many other countries. Okay, UK is a very double faced country. Okay, that's my honest opinion. The report Britain in the 2020s by the Institute of Public Policy Research says Brexit will profoundly reshape the UK. Painful trade offs are almost certain. Growth is expected to be lower, investment rates worse, and the public finances weaker as a result of Brexit. So, nothing to be hopeful here. Okay. The analysis, which draws on data from the OECD, the ONS, and numerous economists and researchers. So this is coming from OECD, the ONS, and numerous economists and researchers. I am not pulling this out of the sky. Okay, and that's why this is all very thought of. Okay, forecasts a 30% increase in the number of over 65s in the population by 2030, and the doubling of the number of over 85s. Look at this, an aging society. 30% increase in the number of over 65s, okay, in the population by 2030, and doubling of the number of over 85s. People are just not dying. Okay, as I pointed out in my earlier videos, people are not dying, new people are not getting born. So exact same thing in UK as well. It predicts that the population of the it predicts that the proportion of the population that is non-white will climb to more than 1 in 5 within 12 years. So definitely it will become more diverse and less white. Okay, that's just what the world is going towards, and that's why there is this backlash from the white majority, because they are literally about to get to be on like wiped out from their own country. Okay, so that's why they are they are surging they are just revolting with a big backlash. Okay, same thing in, and that's why we see Brexit and Trump. Okay, these are all just the outcomes of a white backlash. The world of work will be revolutionized, with millions of jobs in retail and manufacturing disappearing as a result of automation and the internet, the report says. Income inequality will become more entrenched, as will the wealth gap between London and the rest of the country. Okay, between London and the rest of the country. So London is the financial hub of UK, and the rest of the country is just in complete shambles. Okay, by 2030, households will on average be £1,700 worse off per year than they would have been if Britain had stayed in the EU. So, to be honest with you, my frank opinion about Britain leaving the EU is that I have made a video about this where I say that European Union is a failed project. Okay, and European Union is not just an undemocratic project but an anti-democratic project. Okay, so I do understand why Britain left the union, but to be honest with you, I also say that Britain is not a country that can go by itself. Okay, Britain is a very small country, and they need the European Union more than the Union needs them. So that's why I do understand why people wanted to get out of the Union, but the other side of the argument looks much more worse for Britain. That's my honest opinion. Okay, with a persistently falling currency driving up prices and hitting the living standards of poorer people the hardest, according to the report. Okay, persistently falling currency, like the pound is persistently falling. Low income households are predicted to see their earnings rise by just 2% between now and 2030, leaving them little better off than a generation before. Just a little better off, not that much. Meanwhile, the average FTSE 100 chief executives' pay is forecast to soar to £9.5 million by 2030, 350 times the median income, up from a multiple of 144 today. So definitely the CEOs pays are going to rise up of all the companies in FTSE 100. FTSE 100 is the index on the London Stock Exchange. Okay, the report's author, Matthew Lawrence, said that IPPR had taken a neutral position during the run up to the EU referendum, and the report simply highlighted how Brexit would exacerbate challenges around inequality and low productivity that the UK was already facing. So, as I said, UK was already facing these problems. Okay, what are those problems? Inequality and low productivity. And so the Brexit thing is just going to exacerbate this decline of UK. New barriers to trade after Britain leaves the EU are likely to drive the currency down and to increase costs, the report says. Government finances may buckle under the strain of NHS and pension spending as Britain ages and Brexit reduces the tax base. Why does Brexit reduce the tax base? Just try to understand this. Why is that? Because when more and more immigrants leave the country and new immigrants don't want to come to the country, then there is nobody to pay the tax, right? Because in Britain nobody is working, because it is such an aging society, that it's such an old society. People are getting older, they're not dying, new people are not getting born, because the young people are not they are not settling, they are not marrying, they are not having children, they are not doing anything. Okay, so that's why they need immigrants. So now you understand why most of these countries need immigrants. I mean, they are saying this out in the open. Okay, Brexit reduces the tax base. Okay, why does Brexit reduce the tax base? Because all these immigrants are just tax slaves for countries like UK and many other countries. I have made videos about this. Go check out all my videos on my channel. Okay, I criticize Canada, which is the country that I'm living in right now, then US, then UK, European Union, Germany, France, Australia, New Zealand, every country. Every developed Western country in the entire world needs immigrants as tax slaves. That's the harsh and brutal truth, and nothing but the truth. Okay, you come here for the truth, so my job is to give you the truth. Okay, the 65 plus population will rise to 15.4 million by 2030 from 11.6 million today, while the working age population will rise by just 3%. Working age population is going to rise by just 3%. And from where is the working age population coming from? Immigration, nothing else. Okay, the only way why these countries will have more working age population is by immigration, because they have very less marriage rates, There are very less birth rates. Okay, look at the birth rate in UK. It is definitely lesser than the replacement rate of 2.1 births per woman. The older population is said to surge relative to the working age population. Look at this. See, this is the working age population, the line that you see in the bottom, and this is the older population. Okay, age 65 plus. Look at this. Okay, definitely it is going to be an old age society. IPPR predicts a 13 billion pound shortfall in the funding of adult social care alone by 2030 as the government struggles to finance care for elderly people in their homes. As I said, where does this money come from, right? This money comes from the taxes that are paid by immigrants who are working in those countries. Okay, so just understand this. Pressure on schools, hospitals, and infrastructure will also increase as Britain's population continues to grow rapidly despite a short term post Brexit reduction in EU migration. Right? Look at this. So, despite a short term post Brexit reduction in EU migration, all of these things are going to be under pressure: schools, hospitals, and infrastructure. Okay. The report forecasts that the UK will have the fastest growing population of any major country in Europe, overtaking France's population by 2030 and Germany's in the late 2040s, only and only because of immigration. Why is that? Because English is the world language, right? It is much easier for people to come to UK, like for immigrants to come to UK and just gel into the economy. But it's not that easy for people to come to Germany because you have to learn the German language. It's not that easy for people to come to Netherlands or say France or Belgium or Italy or Spain or because these are all they have their own languages. That's why UK will see its population growth grow by than France and Germany just by immigration, nothing else. The IPPR also predicts a more diverse country with a non-white proportion rising from 14% in 2011 to 21% by 2030 and to more than a third of the population by 2050. So non-white people will definitely be almost a third of the population of 2050 of UK. Okay, imagine this. Right now, if you go to London, there are literally areas in London where you will not even feel that you are in London. Okay, I mean, to be honest, that's the case. Okay, go to any sort of Trafalgar Square. Okay, go there and you will find that this does not even look like London. This does not even look like UK. Okay, they are completely transformed. Non-white population is going to increase in UK by 2050 by almost one third. Okay, imagine this. Vast numbers of workers in the UK face losing their jobs as automation progresses, with the economy soon hitting peak human before robots and artificial intelligence take over, the IPPR argues. Definitely, automation is something that should be, we all should be very much afraid of. It forecasts that 2 million jobs in retail will disappear by 2030 and 600,000 will go in manufacturing. Okay, 2 million jobs in retail and 600,000 in manufacturing will disappear due to automation and in artificial intelligence. Britain in the 2020s will continue to see a hollowing out of middle income jobs. Hollowing out of middle income jobs, with large number of well-paid jobs in a few industries, largely in London and the southeast, offset by a growing precariat of poorly paid, often self-employed workers. This is UK, right? The sun never used to set on the British Empire. Okay, I'll read this one more time. Britain in the 2020s will continue to see a hollowing out of middle income jobs with large numbers of well paid jobs in a few industries, largely based in London and the southeast, offset by a growing precariat of poorly paid, often self employed workers. Poorly paid, often self employed workers. Interesting. There will be more self employed workers in the 2020s than public sector employees, the report says. Look at this. There will be more self-employed workers in 2020s than public sector employees. It says that the rest of the world also faces a slowdown in economic growth, partly as population growth slows and partly because of climate change. Okay, population growth slows. Population is a very important thing. Okay, I have highlighted in my previous videos that demographic changes are drastically shaping all these countries and partly because of climate change. Okay, climate change is also a very important deal. Energy mix, projection of electricity generation. So coal, oil, gas, nuclear, other thermal and renewables. So definitely now renewables we will have to keep on increasing that kind of the share of renewables into electricity generation. It also forecasts crisis for China. Okay, by 2030 the country will have 17 of the top 50 cities in the world ranked by GDP, but its rapidly aging population, credit bubbles, and political uncertainty will undermine its rise and ensure that US remains the dominant global power. Okay, so look at this. It also forecasts, this report also forecasts our crisis in China. By 2030, the country will have 17 of the top 50 cities in the world. That is true, right? China right now is also very, very powerful. Then, it will definitely be more powerful by 2030. But it's rapidly aging population. I mean, China has aging population. There is no doubt about that. I will talk about it in my video about what China will look like by 2030. Okay. But the thing is that now even US has aging population, but US is able to offset it by immigration. Okay. So even US has an aging population, but US just tries to compensate it with immigration. China cannot do that because China is an ethnic country. Okay, it is very hard for foreigners to come to China and start work there. That's why China is facing this kind of aging population. Credit bubbles, definitely China also has credit bubbles, and political uncertainty will undermine its rise and ensure that US remains the dominant global power. I mean, the US will remain a power, but definitely in terms of economic terms, China has already surpassed America in terms of purchasing power parity. Okay, in 2014. Okay, in 2014, China already surpassed America in terms of GDP PPP ranking, and my projection is that India is going to surpass America by 2030 in terms of GDP PPP ranking. Okay, I'm not talking about nominal terms. I'm talking about the purchasing power parity terms, GDP ranking. India will surpass America in terms of PPP ranking by 2030. That is my honest prediction. Keir Starmer MP, the shadow Brexit secretary, said, "This report shows once again the clear dangers of a hard Brexit and the importance of ensuring we get the best possible Brexit deal that protects jobs, the economy, and living standards." Now, this is just the MP that is trying to protect her, protect her base. It also reminds us that there are wider and profound challenges facing the Britain in the years and decades to come, both to our economy, society, and our place in the world. Labour has an obligation to future generations to find progressive and effective responses and to help bring Britain back together after a deeply divisive referendum. Okay, Gerard Lyons, a leading pro-Brexit economist and former advisor to Boris Johnson, dismissed much of IPPR's findings as second-hand questionable figures and meaningless jargon. Okay, so the pro-Brexit camp is not buying this argument. He said, "Far from being a constraint, Brexit provides the UK with great opportunity to adopt both a domestic and a global policy agenda to address many of the challenges highlighted by the IPPR in this report." Okay, David Campbell Bannerman, a Tory MEP and member of the Leave Means Leave group, which this week asked business groups across Europe to put pressure on the government to negotiate a free trade agreement with Britain, also criticized the report. No surprises here from such a favorite Blairite think tank. So he's talking about Tony Blair, which receives EU funding. This is misery wrapped in a humbug. Okay, so they are all criticizing this report. Okay, so looking ahead, what IPPR report foresees. Okay, 2% forecast total income growth for poor households between now and 2030. Just 2%, not that much. Okay, this does not even offset the inflation that will happen in the UK. So 2% is nothing. 9.5 million pound is the predicted pay of FTSE 100 CEOs by 2030. 341 billion pounds is the difference between taxes raised and expected spending by 2050. 341 billion pounds is the difference between taxes raised and expected spending by 2050. So taxes raised, how are the taxes raised? As I said, by immigrants. So when less immigrants come into UK, less taxes are raised. 76 million population of the UK when it overtakes Germany and becomes Europe's biggest country in the late 2040s. Okay, only and only because of immigration and English speaking people. 21% non-white proportion of the population by 2030. Okay, 15.4 million number of over 65s in 2030 compared with 11.6 million today. 80% increase in the number of adults over 65 with dementia by 2030. 86% increase in number of adults over 65 with dementia by 2030. 10% decline in China's working age population by 2030, by which time Africa will have more working age people than China. This is also true, right? I am not denying this. 10% is the decline in China's working age population by 2030. I will highlight this in my video about China. Okay, so please check that video out. China has already started, population decline. Okay, so definitely 10% will be decline in China's working age population by 2030, by which time Africa will have more working age people than China. That is also very true. The future is Asian and African. Okay, 1 trillion is the number of sensors connected to the internet by 2025. Okay, 2 million is the number of jobs lost in retail by 2030. 600,000 is the number of jobs lost in manufacturing by 2030. 15 million is the number of current jobs that will be automated in the coming decades. 3 million is the number of new jobs that will be created by 2030, largely in healthcare and business services. Okay, so this is what UK looks like by 2030. Okay, it will be a very fragmented society, largely non-white. Okay, and to be honest, not that good picture to look forward to, okay, because UK is a very small country, okay. UK needs to trade with other countries, otherwise it will stop existing. It's an existential crisis for a country like UK. And with Scottish referendum is also a very important thing, okay. Scotland is almost half of UK, okay. Scotland area is very big. And now, it was after the Brexit madness, if Scottish referendum happens and if Scotland leaves the union, then definitely that will be the end of the United Kingdom as such, okay. Now, after that only England will remain, Wales will also leave, and Northern Ireland has already started saying that we are going to leave the United Kingdom, okay. So this is a pretty bleak picture. And I have also made a video about the European Union and what the future will look like for the Union by 2030. So please don't forget to check that video out. And let me know your opinions in the comments, whether you like my analysis of this article or whether you dislike my analysis of this article. I am open for both the type of comments, and we can have a fair and square discussion, okay. So before I end this video, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, okay, because that really helps me and gives me motivation to bring out these kind of videos to you guys. And also like, share and comment on this video. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye bye.